Today I'm just going to be doing a little stop motion tutorial in fighting. I've animated a clip and I'm just going to go through it with you, and I'm also going to give you a little technique that I like to do to make my fights look a little bit more realistic. As you'll see, there's a nice pace to it and the timing's quite nice also. I'll just go through the frames with you here. So my first frame is the standing still frame, and then what we need to do from this is we need to go to a state of anticipation for the movement, because all movements require anticipation, and the greater the anticipation, the greater the force needs to be after the anticipation. So you'll see that it's going to be quite a big punch, so I've brought my character back a big anticipation, and then after the anticipation I've let the animation settle a tiny bit just to ease that out of the motion, and then straight out of that motion we're going to go straight into our actual movement, and then we want to put a frame that is halfway between her face and my guy's hands. So I'm just going to go to here, just about halfway, and then the next frame we need to do is going to be on her face, and she's going to react to it a tiny little bit. So she's going to start moving a little bit, and then once we've done that we can make an even more drastic move where she's nearly on the floor. See, we've just followed that through, making sure that the force that she's flying at seems to match up with the motion of our punch. So we've got quite a fast motion here, so the faster we move, the faster she's going to fall down. So we've got a big jump there, and then after that frame she'll be on the floor. So nice fast motion, just so everything evens out, so that everything works toe in toe with each other. And then after we've got that motion, it'll go into a settle and he'll ease out of the motion, then go back to a state of equilibrium. And I'll just show that again. Okay, so that's what I like to do for punches. The timing and the spacing of my frames is quite drastic for fast motion. And there's another thing I like to do to make this look even more realistic. In classic 2D animation, you'll see that they use something called a smear frame in stuff like Tom and Jerry and other classic cartoons, where if there's a fast motion going on, instead of actually drawing a full frame in the middle of a motion, they will literally draw like a blur, a mess of something that isn't even the character. Just this is to simulate motion blur, which cannot be captured in 2D animation or stop motion. So you'll see on our animation here that the place that where you need to put the motion blur really is in this halfway point. The place here that this frame here doesn't really necessarily need to be there, but to make the animation seem faster, we can make this into a smear frame. And I've gone ahead and I've done that. And what you basically need to do, we just need to blur out this frame. So I'm in After Effects, so I've duplicated my original layer and I've masked just one frame over the main area of the body. We don't want to get too much of the head in, and then I've just blurred out the edge of the mask, just so we can get the main areas of the body that are going to be moving quite fast, such as the arm and the body. So you'll see that we now have our smear frame, and if I run that through, you'll see that it looks a lot nicer. It looks smoother as it's going through the motion, and if you look close enough, you can actually see the actual smear frame as opposed to here. You can definitely notice the difference. You don't necessarily need After Effects to do this. Since this is on an individual frame, you can just bring this into Photoshop or GIMP, and you can just smear out using the smudge tool just to smudge out the individual frame, and then bring that back into either Monkey Jam or your movie maker. And then we got a nice punch going on right there, punching his woman in the face. Anyways, this has been a tutorial by Arstino from Steam VFX on how to do a short little fight sequence or punch in stop motion animation, and then adding a smear frame to make this motion look even more realistic. Thanks for watching, guys.